Hey guys, guess what? Acura MDX 2022 is supposed to get here today, but it's been postponed. Check this out. Yeah, 8 to 16 inches of snow is going to be falling in the next 24 hours. No one is going to be bringing me cars to review. However, I might be able to get my hands on it before the embargo date, January 28th. In the meantime, we're going to dream of warm weather. We're going to go to South Florida, one of the best places to find super clean, well-kept, well-maintained Japanese autos from yesteryear. It never ceases to blow my mind what you can find down there and for how much money, or should I say, how little money. So let's head on over. Guys, I think I'm losing it. This is a fourth time I've recorded this video. Each time either my audio, something's gone wrong. So hopefully this is my last time. Let's dive right into this 1979 Nissan 280 ZX. Love the Stormtrooper build. I'm so frazzled. Fourth time recording, but love the inline six, of course, on this 280 ZX. You don't see them a whole lot in this part of the country anymore where I'm from. It's missing a fuel cap though, but I love the gajillion spokes it has on the wheels. Just a really clean looking example here. Maybe a little bit of rust there on the front hood. Got the retractable antenna that still might work. That's pretty cool. You got a single exhaust, nothing fancy. I saw a Kia K5 GT line yesterday, not the turbo variant, but the more pedestrian, like sport trim version. And the fake exhausts built in the bumper were disgusting. What's wrong with a simple pipe, guys? You don't need to make it look fancy. It looks good on a vintage car anyways. What doesn't look good is this interior. This red interior is pretty barf-tastic, but I think it's perfect. It's a perfect fit for this 1979. When I think 1979, I think of this disgusting interior, which is perfect for the car. Love the Z badge, those red seats, and of course this one is an automatic transmission, but it does have automatic locks and windows. Who knows if they still work, but I think that's pretty cool. And on the steering wheel, you got kind of have like this Star Trek steering wheel with, I'm not quite sure what those buttons are for. It's probably the horn, to be honest. But yeah, let's move on to the next vehicle here. GS 400. This is a 2000, only for $4,600. This is a good buy here. Now, you might be saying, Kirk, the miles are high, but I'm telling you, that's nothing on a 1UZ FE V8. These cars run forever, as long as you do basic maintenance on them. The most expensive thing with these old Lexuses is going to be changing the timing belt and the water pump every 100,000 miles. And that's usually about $1,000. So maintenance is there on these vehicles that have the timing belt instead of a timing chain. It's definitely a sacrifice that a lot of owners would be willing to make. And this thing is just a peach. Love the looks of it. Love the idea of a V8 GS. It's kind of a sleeper. And we're going to move on to the next one, which is my favorite Lexus we have on the list today. This is a 99 LS 400. This is a last year, I think. No, maybe the 2000 was the last year of the second generation LS 400, but this thing is immaculate. Only $6,500. This is a good buy here. Maybe you can get them down to $6,000, but look how clean this LS 400 in. This interior looks immaculate. I love the pleats on the door. The wood grain, don't quite see it like that nowadays. It's just a beautifully and well-kept car, and I would love to have this. I love the front ends of these old LS. I think they look so good, so clean. And you compare it to a modern LS, this thing looks like luxury. Modern LS, like, what is it, a spaceship? So just really well done. Lexus is one of the best cars you ever made, and I would love to have an LS 400. This has the VVTi on it, so it has about 300 horsepower. This thing's a screamer. Has the 5-speed automatic transmission in it as well. Perfect maintenance records. Of course, the 1UZ looking like a boss there. No accidents, no damage. Just an absolute peach. My favorite Lexus on the list today. Next, Lexus 03 SC430 hardtop convertible, $6,000. This one gets mixed reviews from auto reviewers out there. I know, the guys in Top Gear shit on this car, but it has a legendary engine in it, 4.3 liter, V8, super smooth, good power. Hardtop convertible is awesome. I love that the wood trim in this vehicle, as you'll see in a little bit. People hate the looks on it. It's grown on me over the years, and I still have a huge soft spot for the SC430 in my heart. Lexus badges on the seats. How baller is that? So when the top's down, there's no question you're driving a Lexus. The wood grain that covers the nav screen, and I believe it's a button so that flips up and retracts. It's pretty badass. You'll see in a little bit. And then behind this is the Mark Levinson sound system head unit. The wheels look well. Body looks like it's in pretty great shape. Center stack with the wood kind of retracted. It's really cool how it just disappears, right? Pretty badass. Front looks well maintained. It just maybe need to clean up the headlights a little bit. But overall, for $6,000, man, this would be a wonderful car to have in South Florida. Black may not be my first choice, but it looks really good here in this iteration of the SC430. Next car, old school Lexus, 92, the second year of the SC. The first year, of course, would have been the 91 SC300 and 400, but this is the 400, and it's in okay shape, and that's why you see the price at around $3,000. The exterior is in okay shape. The interior is rough. I would just put some seat covers over it, over the seats, and call it a day. I wouldn't put too much money into it, but it is going to run for a while. 160,000 miles, which is nothing on that. Again, the 1UZ engine. Looks like the antenna may be stuck up. Hey, at least it's not broken off. Typically, you see those snapped off by car washes over the years. Here you might see a little rust on the rear fender, but again, given the price of the car, you can't really complain too much. Here is the spoiler. You don't see too many of these factory spoilers on these SCs. And of course, it really harkens to the era, kind of the round spaceship looking. Kind of reminds me of like a Ford Probe or an old Mazda, like MX-6 or something. You might have little scratches here on the rear fender, but again, that's totally okay. This car looks great. Would be a great buy for $3,000. Reliable, fun, good power, cruising vehicle, very comfy. And that 1UZ looks like it's brand new. Next car, we're going to a 97 Infiniti Q45. Speaking of V8s, right? About $3,000, 126,000 miles, automatic transmission. What do you expect, right? But let's just flip through the images here. This thing is really clean on the inside. Q45. The trunk looks like it's never been used. There's the V8, of course. Sunroof. I love, this is probably my favorite thing about the car, is how beautiful these doors are with the leather, the crinkles in the leather, and the hardwood trim at the top. Again, the seats are ridiculously maintained for the year, and just really goes to show that the cars from that era were built so well, so to such high standards. And the materials that they used, I mean, there's no way an interior should look this good, 20 some years later with 126,000 miles. Just lets you know that the Japanese were doing it right back in the 90s, yo. And then this front end is the most disappointing part about this car. It looks like the headlights just need to be cleaned up. They're really foggy. And then the Infiniti emblem looks like it was stolen or just faded over time. It's hard to tell. But it is a good buy, I would say, for a 97 Q45 V8 luxury Japanese. Really cool. Favorite car on the list today, 91 300ZX. This thing looks like it's in mint condition to me. $13,000 though, one of the more expensive cars on the list. It's a manual. It does not have the turbos in it, which would be fine by me, because even if I had the turbo variant of this car, I'd be kind of scared to drive it hard, right? I would just want to sally it, drive it slow, and just enjoy, the warm weather with the T-tops off. But this thing looks just delicious. I want it so bad. Wait for the seats, guys. Just wait for the seats. Wait for it. Wait for it. Look at that. My gosh, it's grandma's like old socks or the old sofa at your great aunt Sally's house that hasn't been updated since the 60s. These seats are disgustingly beautiful, and I want every piece of it. I'm sure there's about 1 million farts trapped inside of this sponge of a material, but it's just so baller. I love all the dials here. You could probably adjust the bolstering, would be my guess, with one of these. Maybe the lumbar, but this also could be bolstering here on the sides. Just super, super cool. And it has a cell phone. Guys, cell phone accessory on the inside. It's a kicker that the material on the seats is also on the glove box as well as below the steering wheel. Love that. Amazing. Again, we're never ever going to see cars with interiors like this again. Super cool. I love everything about it. And that brings us to one of the last cars on the list, which is another 300ZX. Of course, this one being twin turbo, but it's not your average 300ZX twin turbo. This thing comes from Japan. This is a right-hand drive model, of course, manual transmission. and it's really expensive, 20 grand. I would never pay that much money for a Z car imported from Japan that's been heavily modified. Not to my liking. I like the last one a little bit better, even though it would be slower. Who's going to be racing these cars anyways, guys? These are collectors. I like that naturally aspirated one a little bit better than this, but this is still cool to see. And lastly, 93 Toyota MR2 Turbo. This thing is nearly in mint condition. Of course, it has the T-tops. It looks like it could be on a factory showroom back in 1993. The engine looks meticulous. Everything about it looks great. But 20 grand for a weekend car. Maybe one day, maybe as the channel grows, we can dabble into some of these fun classics. Maybe just feature them as a review piece. I know a lot of you guys would love to see me review some of these classic Japanese cars. And guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Which vehicle was your favorite? And if you want to see more of these classic Japanese cars that we can find, that we could actually buy on the internet, it's just crazy. So cool to see these well-preserved models in South Florida. Guys, I'll see you in the comments. If you liked the video, smash the like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and peace out.